Hi there, everyone. My name is Ryan with the Southern Maryland Office of Real Property Management Gold, locally serving St. Mary's, Charles, and Calvert counties out of our physical offices in Lexington Park and Waldorf. And today I want to discuss a common question that we get that creates a lot of confusion amongst landlords in the state of Maryland, and that is security deposit interest. What do you have to return to the tenant security deposit interest-wise? So the first thing you need to realize is that security deposit interest is required to be paid to the tenant upon move out and return of the security deposit on every tenancy over 6 months. Landlords can face penalties if the security deposit interest is not paid upon a return of the tenant's security deposit up to 3 times the amount of the deposit. So if you mess up and you have a $1,500 security deposit, the tenant can sue you for $4,500 if you fail to send the proper amount of interest back to them or credit it to their account regarding the deposit. Security deposits are required to be stored in a separate bank account designed for security deposits. Do not put the money into a personal account or you can face penalties. So you need to create a separate bank account to store the security deposit money. You can't just put it into your checking account and use it. It's supposed to be escrow funds. So technically it has to be an escrow account. It can be a checking account, something, but it has to be separate than than your personal bank account. You cannot put it into a personal bank account. You have to put it into a separate account specifically for a security deposit because it's technically escrow funds. The account you store the funds in can accrue interest. However, interest to be returned on a security deposit is not linked to the bank account in which the funds are stored. So the biggest misconception we get is that since you have the security deposit in an interest-bearing account, the interest that's required to be returned to the tenant is the same amount that the bank account is returning. And that is not true. The guidelines on security deposit interest require using a complex formula that utilizes the Treasury yield curve on a monthly basis. This is a much higher rate of return than on any standard commercial bank account. The best way to calculate the proper interest rate is to use the calculator on the MDDHCS website. I have the calculator here. So this is the Maryland DHCD website. You put in when your tenant moved in, the tenancy date, the amount of the deposit, the county it's in, and then it will calculate out what you owe. So on a $2,500 security deposit in Charles County, I was taken out in 2019, and the person just moved out now, the interest would have been due of $94.68 per this calculator. So if you were to keep it into a savings account at a typical yield, this is what it would come out to be. So, typical deposit $2,500, you put it into that bank account for 2 years. At a 0.02% APY, you're looking at $1.25 in interest. So you would earn $1.25 in interest, but you're required to give the tenant back $94. So the interest that you can make in a bank account right now, with the interest rates being as low as they are, does not correlate with the amount that you'd have to return to the tenant. That's just the way the state of Maryland does it. So you have to be very cognizant of that and make sure that you do it properly. So, in summary, make sure you pay the tenant security deposit interest upon return of the deposit to prevent penalties. Use the calculator on the DHCD website to ensure you have the correct amount. Expect the amount to be significantly more than if you were to keep it in a bank account. Typically, on a house here in Southern Maryland, expect to pay between $50 and $100, depending on how long the tenant, on the typical amount of a security deposit here back to the tenant. If you keep it in an interest-bearing account, only expect to make a couple of dollars, maybe $1 to $2 or a couple cents. So it's completely different. You have to do it right, or you can get in serious trouble. If you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to us at our website. And that's all. Thank you very much and have a good evening.